What's up guys, this is Brent with 24/7 Parts, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to level the deck on your John Deere X350. Now, the first step always in going into leveling our decks is making sure that we have the right tire pressure. So on the X300 series models, or specifically on the X350, what we're looking for is 14 PSI in the front and 10 PSI in the rear. So if those measurements are not at that mark, we want to make sure and go ahead and get those tires either aired up, let a little bit of air out. That way the mower is sitting at the correct position that it's designed for whenever we get it set into the height of cut that it needs to be at to level. The next thing we want to do is go right here to our height of cut. This is going to be right in front of our seat, and we'll see right here that it says specifically on this mower we need to be at the 2.5 mark, and it shows you the positions in which you're going to take those measurements. So we're going to go ahead and turn this to the 2.5 mark. Next, we're going to get underneath the seat, and this is one thing that I really like about these mowers is that they have the tools on hand, all but one anyway, that we need to level this deck. So what you're going to have here is a deck leveling gauge. Now this is set at the height that it needs to be able to read the deck levelness at those 3 points on the deck. And then we also have this tool that's going to drop down in a couple of holes that's going to fit down into a screw that's underneath the foot platform of your mower and right above the deck to be able to either raise or lower this deck. Now we need to go ahead and lower the mower deck down into that 2.5 position. So we're just going to push on our raise and lower pedal and then push down on our mower lift lever and then let that pedal come back. So our deck is down into the position it needs to be to get that correct measurement. Now the next part of this is going to be finding two different things. One is the hole, which is right here on top of the deck. We'll have one of these on each side that our tool is actually going to go down into. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide this down and then look underneath our foot platform here. And as we slide this through, we can see a bolt right there that will click into. And now here is where all of our adjustments going to take place. So if we turn this right, it's going to raise the mower, and if we turn this left, it's going to lower the mower. Now, once we've got that found and got our tool in place, the next thing that we need is our actual gauge here. And what we're looking at is the positions in which we're going to take these measurements. So number one is over here on the left-hand side of the mower. And what you're looking for is right here on the back side of your deck, you'll see this weld spot. And that is where we are going to set our gauge at, and what we're looking for is to be able to slide that just right underneath the deck right there in that spot. And as we can see, we do need to go up on this deck to be able to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is reach over here and I'm going to start turning our tool to the right to raise this up. And as I'm doing that, you can see the deck raise. And then we'll check our position again. We still need to go up just a touch more to be able to get that underneath. And just like that, until we can freely go underneath, you may need to drop it down just a touch. You still want your gauge to be touching a little bit of that deck, have a little bit of drag. But once we're there, then we're ready to move to the other side. So once we move over here on the right-hand side, it is the same procedure. Now your weld mark is gonna look a little different. Where we're looking at here is this dot right here. This is where we wanna be measuring at. And as we can see, once again, we do need to go up. So we're gonna drop our tool down through the hole and find our adjustment screw. Pop that into place. We'll start to turn here and raise that deck up. Right there, we'll check it. And right there is just about perfect. We might need to go down just a touch. And just like that, as we can see, just very, very little gap there. All right, so once you've got that set, now you would move to the front of the mower. But before we do that, we want to make sure and go back across to the other side, check to make sure that nothing got out of balance, because you have to remember that once you raise one side or lower one side, then the other side is going to change with that. So before you move to the front, go ahead and check that other side first, come back, check one more time over here on the right, and then move to the front of the mower. All right, so the last spot that we are measuring at shows right here on our deck leveling gauge as spot number 3. Now where that's going to be at is actually on the left hand side of the deck, right here where our anti-scalping wheels mount. And we'll see that we have just a little bit of a notch right here on the left-hand side of this hanger. Now you're not going to have that over on the right-hand side, so you do need to be over on this left-hand side. And what we're looking for is to see if our leveling gauge fits right into that notch. And as you can see there, that went in perfect. You do have to sort of push it to make sure that it goes down into that notch. But as long as it is fitting into that notch, and you can see here on our deck leveling gauge that we have a little bit of a flat side there. So we've got this rounded edge and then we've got this flat side. That is where you're wanting to push that in. So once we push that in, as long as that deck falls down into position, into the flat spot there, and it doesn't seem to be raising the deck up any, then you are good to go as far as leveling the front. Now, if we did have to do any leveling here at the front, where we would do it would be at these hangers right here. So we have one on the right hand side and one on the left hand side. And how we would go about adjusting this would be with an 18mm wrench. And what we would first do is loosen off our back nut here on both sides, on both hangers. Make sure to back this off. Same thing over on your left-hand side. And then if we needed to raise the mower deck up, we would simply put on our 18mm wrench and turn this clockwise to raise and counterclockwise to lower. So a little more finicky here in the front, not as easy as it is with the tool to go ahead and raise and lower the rear, but right here at the front, one tool, an 18mm wrench. We're going to loosen off the back nuts of these two hangers and then turn our front nuts either clockwise to raise or counterclockwise to lower. We just need to make sure that we are doing those in the same exact increments. So for instance, if we are going to need to be raising that up, maybe start with just a half a turn on the left-hand side and then move to the right-hand side and do a half a turn as well. And then keep going in those half-turn increments until we're up to that height that we need to be. So I hope this video helped you out, and I hope you liked this video. And if you did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you need any parts at all, make sure to go check us out at 247parts.com. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.